everybody, it is me, your favorite agent, Melissa D. Hall, also known as Medicare Mel. And today with me, I have Mr. Scott Nichols of Search and Save. He is my special guest today because it is a great day to sell insurance, as always. Now, for some of you all, okay, who were on the best AEP ever free virtual conference that we hosted a few weeks back, we had a few technical difficulties trying to get Mr. Nichols on. However, I felt, especially with this AEP season coming, that it was very, very important that we have him on today because his technology, okay, the Search and Save system is designed to help you reach your 100 application goal when it comes to this annual enrollment period, also year round. For those of you all who maybe have been doing Medicare and news to you all who are new to Medicare this season, it can take a lot of time entering in clients' information. And especially with this being the busiest time of year, you want to maximize, right, your time as much as possible. And the unique thing about Scott is that he used to be an agent. He knows what we're going through, right? And he created this system for agents, independents and agencies alike, so that we can, number one, maximize our time, right? Because this is like having a whole other employee. Anybody who knows, it's easy to run across a person with 15, 20, 30 different medications, trying to get all that in, then trying to help them do the scope. It could be a really big undertaking. So he has created a way to streamline all of that and to compare plans, right? Whether you're appointed or not. So listen, without any further ado, okay, I want to introduce you all to Mr. Scott Nichols. How you doing, Scott?
I'm good. I'm good, Melissa. How are you today?
I am fantastic. I'm so excited to finally have you on. Okay.
I'm excited too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like, I know I have been using his technology for over a year here in my own agency. My whole agency uses your system, right?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, yes. And it's just such a pleasure to be able to connect. Your system, it's simple, but it's very powerful. So tell the audience a little bit like about you. And how you even got started. You're really a trailblazer in the insurance industry, from being an agent, owning an agency, now creating a software. Like, you have to be a smart guy.
My teachers would all argue with you. No, I just celebrated my 39th year in the industry.
Wow.
So I started off as an Allstate agent under an escalator in a Sears store. And that was a long time ago, 1983. Okay.
So you had a booth or something?
Yeah, we all shared a booth. There was 9 agents in one booth.
At an Allstate in a Sears store? They used to have Allstate and Sears?
Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They need to bring that back. That's not a bad idea.
Well, it was a great idea. And we all had a drawer. We didn't have desks. We had a drawer. Okay. So that's what you had, and you worked. And not all 9 of us were in the booth at one time, right? So you do it in teams of 2. But after that was over, I kind of got the bug for health insurance. So then I after about 6 years with Allstate, I left and I went into the health insurance business and was selling group plans, and individual plans. And then I did that for just a little bit. And then I ended up becoming a company man. And I was a company man for about 5 years, and it was a lot of fun. But that's when I got introduced to Medicare. And I got introduced to the wholesaling side and the brokerage side of the industry, because I was calling on these brokerage houses and I was seeing what they were doing, and I liked it. I really thought it was fun. And so next thing you know, 1994, I opened the doors to my brokerage.
Oh, wow.
And so we were a Medicare and health insurance brokerage. And I had a friend of mine that was my FMO. Okay, they call them that today. Back then, they were just a brokerage manager, but he was my FMO. And he told me in 1998 that I would no longer sell individual health insurance, that I would sell Medicare, and I'd never look back. And I told him he was crazy. Well, it wasn't 6 months after that, and you got to remember, these were test markets back in those days for Medicare Advantage, as it's called Medicare HMO at the time, say.
Okay.
These were trial balloons. So fast forward, Medicare Advantage comes along. I find myself in the right place at the right time, and was on one of the earliest brokerage houses to offer Medicare Advantage to agents. Would
Wow.
literally go from Holiday Inn to Holiday Inn holding certification courses.
Because you all
and
probably had to do everything in person back then.
and in paper.
Wow. And
So
what
you
year
had
was this?
that would have been 2003, 2004, right?
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
so you were collecting this test, grading the test yourself, and then shipping the test by FedEx to the FMO.
Wow.
And
Shipping it
then
back.
oh yeah, and then everything was in paper. There was nothing but kits. So
Mm,
you had to become a worker for UPS. Basically, you were boxing kits and sending them to agents.
mm.
And
My,
so, yeah.
have times changed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So basically, was at the right place at the right time. Built my brokerage nationally. So my brokerage still exists. It is a national concern. We have a lot of agents who work with us. And my whole thing with how I put brokerage together was you had to have a direct relationship with the carrier. I wasn't going to own your book of business because
Mm-hmm.
I had a bad situation go down that I won't go into, but I was a single father of 3 children. Okay.
Mm,
And these children at the time when I had to become a single father were 7, 5, and 18 months old. And so I had my brokerage going. It was struggling, right? As every business does in the beginning. And I was a single father of 3 children.
mm,
And one of the relationships that I had with a different FMO, okay,
mm-hmm.
decided that he was going to just take my book of business. And he did.
Wow.
And I didn't get any more renewals. And yeah, and he knew that I was living on that money with all the money I had.
Wow.
So I vowed at that point that I would never do that to another agent in my life. So everything with me would just be direct contracts. I would live off the overrides that I got, and I would earn those overrides.
That's, it's something that happened to you. I've had different experiences as well. And one thing about insurance, because it's not a lot of regulation, everything's kind of 1099, it kind
Mhm.
of leaves you open for those types of things. And that's why the relationships you have are so important, because really all you have is the word, your
Right.
word that, hey, people won't, screw you over or do something unsavory to you. So relationships are key, are very key. And I'm sure this
Mhm.
prompted you to start, create your software. Like how did that part
Oh,
come
that
along?
happened. Oh, yeah. Well, it was my agents.
Hmm.
I've always been a leader that leads from the behind side of life. I mean, the agents lead me and tell me what they need, and then I would respond. So what
Right.
happened in 2019, right, when Medicare.gov made its change, and
Hmm.
and, and I sometimes people don't like when I say this, but I'm going to say it because I think Medicare did the right thing.
Okay.
Okay, they put that information behind the firewall, and they had to. They had to, because not agents weren't abusing the information, right? But there were a whole lot of other folks that were, and
Okay.
that was not good for the senior citizen. They had to put it behind the firewall, and they
Okay.
did. So my
Okay.
agents came running to me, because you have to remember, I was delving and investing heavily in online systems in 2016.
Okay.
If anybody ever wants to know about marketing Medicare direct to consumers and how you can go through a lot of money very quickly, call me.
All right. No, that's
Uh,
good to know. That's something we're gonna have to talk about at another
mhm.
time, though. I would love to hear
Right,
more about your
right,
experiences,
right,
because that's a whole
right.
different thing. I've heard mixed reviews on marketing Medicare to consumers online. So definitely that's a whole nother talk we're gonna have to have.
We'll have to have that. But the thing was, is my agents came to me and said, we need a system. What are we going to do? So we looked around. All we could find is enrollment systems with other FMOs. And they
Mm,
basically wanted to own our contracts. So they really weren't replacing Medicare.gov, where you could see things, right?
right.
It was more about, it really wasn't answering that question. And I
Hmm.
understand, I totally get why they did it. I get it. Okay. Because they have a lot invested. And I understand that. But the systems weren't what the agents wanted. So
Mm,
then we went out and we started to do what's called leasing the API. Leasing the API is the actual data from the carrier servers
hmm.
and creating your own system. Okay.
You can do that.
It's a lot of
That's amazing.
expense. It's a lot of time.
I'm sure it is.
And you
I'm
have to
sure.
have the right data vendor. So we put together the right data vendor. We use Connecture currently, but we do have bigger plans. I don't hide that from them either. We actually are creating an actual agent API. So we, the agents, have that information now. We don't have to depend on anyone else. Okay.
Okay.
So this is very important.
Yeah.
So we started to build it, and using the raw data, we put together. And the one thing that I did, I've only made a few decisions that were really, really good. One is marrying my current wife. That's one of them. Okay. But
Yes.
two is having my 3 kids, right? Of course, a capital number 1 is giving my life to Jesus Christ. Okay. But beyond that, okay, beyond that is that I had to make sure that the agents led what we built. So what we do show the systems to you. As you know, you've seen the system, but it's agent built. All the improvements, all the tweaks, everything. We just listen to the agents that use it. And where feasible, we make those changes. And that's why agents are flocking to the system. They're flocking because of that.
You know, it's a real, you know, nowadays, as we all know, the independent insurance realm is kind of becoming commoditized, right? It's kind of becoming, it's a lot of venture capital money coming to this space. So it's definitely becoming more corporate and big money. And it's a lot of people controlling things who aren't agents, who don't get it. So to have something that you're definitely, you know, listening to us, understanding where we're coming from, you know, a lot of the systems sometimes kind of make our lives difficult. It's what they can do versus what we need, you know?
Right.
So definitely I want to see it. So listen, I know that you prepared some information and a quick demo and everything for everyone. So what I want to do is I'm going to step back here and go ahead and just do your thing and show everyone. Okay.
That's great. That's wonderful. I love the opportunity to show everybody everything.
Okay.
Would you want to see some slides first, and then we'll jump to the system?
Sure, go ahead. I'm gonna let you share your screen.
Okay.
And I'm gonna turn off. Well, no, I'll stick around. I'll be right here while you're showing your screen.
Not a problem. Here, let me jump on here real quick.
I'm gonna just have my Red Bull if you don't mind.
All right. So we talked about who we were and whatnot, and then in 2019, what we need to do. And, you know, we just shared on it a little bit there about owning your own data, because when we were looking at these third-party systems that are out there and talking to the vendors and others, when we read the user agreements, we were finding out that the third-party vendor, okay, owned the data that you're entering into the system. That still exists today. And they control the use of it, which means that the data that you enter can be mined, sold, shared, and contacted because you gave them permission to do it. So we stripped all that language out of search and save. We wanted to make sure that agents didn't have to worry about something that they worked so hard to build. You know, getting back to the story I just told you that I lived through, right? Who wants that? They needed that dependable system to replace Medicare.gov. Every agent I talked to wanted an integrated CRM. They wanted the CRM built into the system, bake it in, which we have. Agents need to be able to save those client RX lists, quotes, providers, everything like that year after year. You needed to be able to search the Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement and even ancillary products, complete plans that were out there, regardless of your contracting, just like you used to do with Medicare.gov, right? Because the other systems weren't doing that. They were you were only going to see what you were contracted for.
Absolutely. You bring up a good point about being able to check in with your customers year after year on their medications, because that's really a big way too that this has saved us time until you've made your pearl, which you'll get to it. But you know, being able to like not have to take those medication lists year after year after you want to renew them, especially if it's not a whole lot of movement, and just being able to see it, that goes a very long way.
It helps. And now we've even We've even given you the ability to save their providers too, which is another
Wow.
big innovation we have. So,
Mm-hmm.
now talking about storing things, you needed to have electronic scope of appointment because more and more people want to do this interaction over the computer. More and more do. So you needed to be able to send them those electronic scope of appointment forms, right? And get it
Mm-hmm.
done a little faster. You can do them in your office too, but you need to have it
Okay.
electronic so you can save it. Now you're going to have to do the telephonic audio recording and you're going to have to save it. So we already have that done for you as well. And what's nice about it is that we didn't have to charge any more for that telephonic audio recording the way we were able to put it together. And we're
Oh,
always kind of motivated to save the agent as much money as possible.
okay.
We're all small business people. One thing that we did in 2019 that was probably one of the best things that we did next to working with the agents and making them the architect of the system was we created a real provider and facility search engine, a real one. Okay. That came from the carrier servers, just like the Medicare Advantage data comes from the servers of the carriers and the drug
Mm-hmm.
data and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what a lot of agents didn't realize is that most of the provider stuff they were looking at from these other systems was scrubbed data.
Mm.
Now,
Okay.
let me explain what that means. Scrub data means that it was scans of hard copy directories or web crawlers or public utility files. Nothing was updated. Nothing was from the server.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
most of those systems still use that.
Mm.
So I found the vendor that actually had the information and was connected to the carriers. They handled the billing between the provider and the insurance company. And I went out and worked a deal with them and went into a project with them to create an actual provider and facility search engine for Medicare plans. And I'm really happy to show you that when we
That's
get to the
real. That's
system.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So, listen, and that's something that you going out and actually realizing that that's an issue, that's a problem. That's something that only an agent would really get. You know what I mean? Like, because we know
Mm-hmm.
that's important. And those types of things change all the time. So you went and you followed the money, which
Well,
is a
yeah, but
unique
yeah,
relationship.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, think about time being money, right? I heard you
Right.
talk about that at the best AEP ever, which was a great, fantastic experience. I really enjoyed it.
Thank
But
you.
it was wonderful. More people should do more things like this. It's wonderful. But the thing is that how much time does it take you to go from directory to directory to directory to look up those doctors?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you sometimes it could be in over an hour just, and then you have to put them on a piece of paper or whatever. Then you have to cross check them to see who's taking what plans. Are all the doctors in this plan? This search engine does it for you and saves it year to year.
That's amazing.
107 provider networks we have in there now.
Mm-hmm.
Carrier provider networks. Yep, 107, which is we're
Mm-hmm.
really proud of. The other thing that we did was enrollment. Okay. How many times have I heard agents complain about the enrollment systems that they have to use? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
them, when I talk to my FMO friends, and I have several because I was in the industry so long, a lot of them are getting away from even using their own free systems because the people don't really understand. The agents don't understand. There's a toggle system there that the carrier has to have the same toggle lined up with the agent's system, right? They both have to be turned on in order for you to get paid on that enrollment. So you have to be
Wow.
aligned with that program. So if you're not aligned with the program, sometimes the carrier just puts it in and you don't get paid.
Oh, wow.
Or vice versa, the carrier doesn't have the enrollment. It didn't go through. It's a mess. You know who told me that?
Who?
CMS.
Wow.
Because when they saw how we do enrollment, which is really kind of a simple idea, we just have an agent portal link. All it does, you just click on it and you go straight to the agent portal for the carrier. You're going to enroll a
Okay.
Humana plan. You click on it, you go to Humana plan, you log in and do it.
And you do it straight through Vantage. So basically, we don't have to go around figuring out, okay, let me get the Humana link, it's right there.
It's right there. You click on
And
it
you
and you're
just log
done.
in. Okay.
Exactly. So because we integrated our Pearl, okay, I mean, integrated our CRM, excuse me, we were able to create personal URL technology,
Mm-hmm.
which allowed us to create a very simple 8-question questionnaire that agents can use with the system. It is an optional subscription. It does cost additional money, but it's like having another employee in your office for working for $1.66 a day.
So what type of information does it get from the client so they
Okay.
can save them time?
Okay, let's say it's a new client. And I use this myself with referrals.
Okay.
Instead of me being on the phone with somebody that just was referred to me, I thank them so much for being referred to me. And as I'm going to send you over this link, click on the link and just answer the questions in the questionnaire. They're going to tell me what their current coverage situation is. They're going to give me their drug list. They're going to input it for me. I'm not going to do it. Their favorite pharmacies, their PCP doctor, their specialist. Okay. What's their different wants and needs? Okay, that they like. Maybe they want transportation. Maybe they're looking at that Part B give back, whatever. Okay. They give me their permission to call in their contact information, right? And they submit it to me. Now, once they submit it to me, it goes directly into my search and save system. It creates the customer profile for me. Okay. Enters their drug list, enters their pharmacy, enters their doctors, enters their specialist, and even runs the quote. Then when it does that, it turns around and it sends me a text message, an email, and a system alert to tell me it's done.
Wow. Wow.
Now I can use the same technology with a current customer that is in the CRM. Let's say it's AEP, and I got 300 clients. I can send them that link and ask them to update their information. So it will grab the information and I've put into the CRM, their drug list, their pharmacies, their doctors, etc. Right? It will send it to them and say, this is what we have. Can you update it? Are there drugs you're not on anymore? Are there other drugs you're not? Are you still seeing the same doctor? You still seeing the same specialist? And then they send that and it updates in your system, runs the quote for the new year, and then tells you it's done.
Wow, I love that. That's amazing.
And guess who brought me that idea?
Who?
An agent.
Okay, good. Yes, no, that, listen, being able just to send a link out and then you know their interest in everything, I'm sure all of it's HIPAA compliant, and then it kind of just does the work for you. So that right there, yeah, that's amazing. That's really amazing. What else you got for us, Scott?
Okay, I'm going to switch over now to the system. Okay.
Yes, let's see it.
Let's get into it now. Okay. So this is the login screen. Okay. And we can come back to this at the end because I have a special offer for your folks and even through AEP. I've got this special offer for them.
Okay, well, yes. Make sure y'all stay tuned.
So when you get in here with the searchandsave.org, you go to this URL right here, searchandsave.org. That's where you go. And I always tell people when you come in to look at the system, there's some buttons here that are social media login buttons, right? For LinkedIn, Google, Facebook. But this fourth button is real important because it's the tutorial page. And if you click on that fourth button, okay, you're going to go out to this page. And when you get there, you're going to see that we have some nice videos for you to look at how to use the system.
And I love that you don't even have to go and log in and create an account to get that.
You don't. So you can go right here and look. These are all chapters, are all linked. So you want to see how we do different things there? And you can look and see. And you can play that 25-minute overview of the system, which will really help you, okay?
Yes, and one thing that I love, and you had an option down there about sharing lists. That's so, like, unfortunately with the other systems, like when you have an agency, let's say you might have an assistant or other agents and you all are helping the same customers, you got to put the client's data in each person's personal portal in order for it to come. With Search and Save, you can have an agency account and everybody can see all the clients. And that, I'm telling you, it goes a long way. That's why we use the system, because it has that.
Well, that's great. And as the administrator, you can control that.
Yes.
So let's say you've got an agent in here, it might be an outside agent. You don't want him to see your internal accounts. It happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You can keep them from doing that. So you select as the administrator what you want. And that's super important. But this is the dashboard right here. And this, you know, these are buttons over here. Customer profile allows you to look at, you know, all of the profiles like you see here in front of you, or just your profiles, me being who I am, or ones that are shared by my sub agents with me. We don't want to ever hold your data hostage. So this is the export button. If you decide that you want to leave, you can leave. Okay. We're not going to mind, sell, share, or hold your information hostage. You can export it right there. Okay. Let's say they make a change. This is another great idea that came from an agent. Let's say they make a change in the formulary and they take a drug off, right? And you got 300 clients. You don't know who's got that drug. You could actually search for it right here with this button. And that will
Let's
bring
click
up
that.
those
Let me
lists.
see.
Okay, if you click on that, just a second here.
Because they did that with metformin one time, you remember? And they now they only do, like, I think metformin ER.
So I'll just give you an example, and I can put as many drugs in here that may be taken off of a list, okay? But I'm just gonna be dramatic and put in a torvastatin, okay? Brings up all my list.
Oh, that's great.
So I can go to that list and handle that customer and take care of it.
That's amazing.
So that was a great idea by an agent who, by the way, works out of London, England.
Are they, so they're not, so are they American who just
Yeah. It's a summer situation that they go over and watch the grandchild.
Must be nice.
It must be. I don't live that life. So sometimes agencies are in a situation where they need to change ownership of a lot of lists in bulk. Somebody passed away, right? Or somebody left the business, something like this. You can do it with this button right here. So we give you all of that control.
I love that.
The electronic scope of appointment here, if you click this, you're going to be linked out to the scope of appointment system with CSG, where we talked a little bit about that. There's a video that has all of that information in there so that you can easily do the electronic scope of appointment either in your office or you can do it virtually. Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Can you show us the Pearl, what that looks like?
I can jump right to the Pearl if you want me to. Okay, now to access Pearl, okay, I got to move us around a little bit here, okay?
No problem.
Right here in the right corner is a very important tool on the system, and that's my silhouette. Or it would just be, if you don't want to upload your picture, you don't have to, but you click on that and you want to go to your account settings page, okay? Now, when you go to your account setting page, this is where you can share lists, you can add sub-users, you could do email workflow, okay? That's included in our system. You can get the Pearl up and going. You can change your account type if you need to add users, okay?
And also,
you can change your payment.
Just to let you know, it says $150 right here. That's not how much, that's how many users you have on the system.
Well, for me, it's just my default. Okay.
Okay, so it's like 10 people. I don't want to scare people off because they see monthly plan $150 a month. It doesn't cost that much.
it doesn't. It's right here. Let's drop that down. Individual users only $25 a month.
That's nothing.
Less than $1 a day. Small agency, 2 to 5 users, or 2 to 5 users is $50 for the entire agency. 6 to 9 users, let's say you need more, it's $75 for the entire agency. And then when you get into the big shops, right, 10 to 19 users, $150 a month. And then if you go beyond that, it's you buy 10 users license at $150 each. Okay.
Okay, well, I mean, that's amazing. That right there. That's very, very reasonable, very nominal for what this will do for you.
Right. And I mean, that is my goal, and is to have this be the system of choice of agents. We'll make money on the volume, okay, and have it well managed, right?
Absolutely.
But if I make it too expensive, agents aren't going to use it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so what good is it then, right? Let me jump to Pearl real quick, okay? So if I go to Pearl, I gotta move us again, okay?
No problem.
I'll cover up that 150.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to, since people are going to see it, I just wanted to address.
I had that earlier today, and I'm glad you addressed it. No, we're not out to do that.
No problem.
So if you want to add a Pearl, okay, you click everything with us, these little gear boxes. So if you hit that, you click add Pearl onto your system, and this drops down. And then you can name your Pearl whatever you want. And then let's say, I'm gonna just put Melissa in here, okay? .agentsolutions.org. I checked the prefix here to see if it's available, that would be available for you for your string, okay? Or your link, excuse me. It's available. You could do that, okay? And then you put your payment in, okay? and that pearl is $50 a month.
Mhm.
You can turn a pearl on and off. I gave the agency ability to do that because some agents need this data input during AEP. That's when they do their most work. They may not need it year round, okay? So I didn't want to have them pay year round for something they're not using. So I said, okay, you put it on, take it off, right? So let's say you put it on the 1st of September and you take it off at the end of November. It's fine, okay? You can do that. So, well, however you want to use it, all right? So, but the Pearl has a lot of uses. I mean, we got an agent right now that called us just to tell us a story about she's taking the Pearl and giving it to small group people that she has that are HR people. She's giving it out to registered investment advisors that she knows, lawyers, PNC agents, and they're just giving it to their clients and saying, this is how you're going to start your Medicare conversation. It's going to go right to this person. They're going to call you and this is her name. Boom.
I love
And
it.
it's working. It's working.
And what I think too, like we could do something, we could put this on our websites. You know what I mean? We
Oh
could
yeah.
put a button to it on a website. So what does it look like?
All right. So let's drop down here and say go to Pearl. Okay. Let's stop the anticipation here. So I'm going to show you, I think the best way to do this is to show you that here's the Pearl, and this is the one I created. So you brand all this to you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I put in my background picture, and it's got my name, it's got my phone number, and all that, okay? So I brand all of that. And so the questions are set. So let's say I'm in here, I got to put in a zip code, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put in a zip code. I got to select the county. I got to put in an age, male. I am currently enrolled or soon be enrolling in Medicare, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I am also enrolled in Medicaid. You might have a dual eligible person on here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to want to know that. Next one, what is my current coverage? Okay. Oh, I'm on original Medicare. I just came off an employer plan, whatever, right? Check as many of them as you want. Then my prescriptions. So now in here, I just need to, it's using the exact same drug lookup that we have in our system for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I'm taking Lipitor, okay? And I'm just doing it because it's easy. 10 milligrams, I'm taking 30 of those tablets on a month, okay? Do I have another prescription? Yeah, I have another prescription, okay? All right, what is it? I don't know, atorvastatin, okay? Or not atorvastatin, let's not do that. Let's do benzapril, okay? Let me see if I can spell this right.
And the client is doing all this, not the agent. Lord have mercy.
Right, exactly. So I put this in, this is my benzapril. Oh yeah. And trust me, they're doing it. They're doing it. Because guess what they're doing at home? What do you think they're doing with good, what do you think they're doing at Good RX?
Right.
Or the Walgreens app? Nobody thinks like that. See? What do you think they're doing with CVS? Walmart. They're doing this.
Yeah. Yes, you're right about it.
So here's that. Now I'm done with my list. Okay, I've got my drugs in there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do I have a preferred pharmacy? Now here I got to add my home address. Okay. So Google Map will pop up, and I just hit that. The moment I hit that address, it brings up my pharmacies.
Mm-hmm.
So now I say, okay, and I can pick 3, up to 3. Okay. I might just say, no, I just go to Walgreens and Kroger's. That's what I do. Or I just go to Walgreens. Do I have a primary care physician? Okay. Yep.
Yes.
I'm going to put in my city. You just have to remember to click that Google thing, right? Say my doctor's Robert Osborne. There he is. Now he's in there. How about specialists? Yeah, I'm seeing specialists. Cincinnati. Going to look up Dr. Jackson. Okay. It'll look up Dr. Jackson's in Cincinnati. Look at that.
Wow.
Like I say, oh, I see Laura Jackson. Okay, that's who I see. Okay. Now to put the next doctor in, I can put in as many as I need here. Okay. Maybe I'm seeing Chandler Hutchinson. Okay. Now they're there. Okay. And if I'm going to take them out, I can just hit a red X. Okay. There's my specialist. Now, what other benefits am I interested in? Well, I want transportation, and I want a gym, and I want my meals delivered, all that stuff. Part B give back. I'm interested in that. these are all extra selling opportunities for the agent, right?
Yeah, are you going to add the rent thing in? Because they're doing that too.
Yeah, whatever. It's easy for us to do it.
Okay. I love this, Scott.
I mean, we trying to be flexible, okay? Now, here's my review. There's my drugs, there's my pharmacies, there's my doctors, right? Okay, there's my review. Now it asks me, and this disclaimer is going to be updated, by the way, with the new stuff. It's already done. We just have to make it go live. But this is my permission to call. See it? If I go to submit this and I haven't checked that box, I have to check that box because we collect that and timestamp it and put it in the customer's profile to protect you.
Okay.
So I never called her. Well, yes, you did. Here it is. Okay. So now I submit it. Now we get a little thank you here. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nichols. If I'm the customer, right? If Scott will be contacting you shortly if he needs to gather any additional information. There's the name, the phone number, and everything. Okay, it's right there with the email. If the person wants to contact me. So what's going to happen is that I'm actually going to get an alert, a text alert on my phone as the agent that this list was created. Okay, I'm going to get the client's going to get an email thanking them from you, from MMQ support.
Okay.
Personalized to you. Okay. And then I'm going to get an email telling me that this list was created. I need to go to my search and save now. Okay. Because this will probably be on there. Okay. So if I go out to my client profile, it takes just a little bit of time, maybe 5 minutes. Okay. For it to come through. But when it comes through here, there it is. Okay.
I love it.
So now when I open this up, okay, I got to give it just a minute. Give it just a minute. Because see how it's filling in the drug list? See I'm going green? Ran the quote. There are my pharmacies. Look at that. When you go into Pearl customer information right here, there's the other stuff you need. There's the doctors. There's the enrollment status. What's their enrollment status? It's right here. Okay. What's their current coverage? It's right here. What else are they interested in that I can sell them? It's right here. Now, if I'm going into my quote and I want to do my provider search, right? I can click because I already have it run, right? It's already in there. See this? So now I can go right here to this green box and hit it, and it will fill in the doctor and the provider search and the zip code. I can hit find providers. It's going to look up all the plans for me.
Wow.
So now I say, okay, I want to save this one and save this one. That's great, right? I go back to my dashboard. Now I can go to the next specialist. Click it. See how I filled it in?
Yes.
So now I know I have Osborne here, and I need to go down, and I'm checking Hutchinson now. Okay. Oh, I had to find providers first. Sorry. So now I got to look at Hutchinson. So now I go look at Hutchinson, and I can go and grab those plans for Hutchinson.
I love it, Scott. I love it. So let me ask you a question, right? Like it seems simple enough for me, but of course, everyone, when it's new technology, they need support. What type of, and I don't know if you want to stop your screen share, whatever, because I just want to ask you a few questions. Like, what type of support do you offer to people who sign up for your system?
Okay. So what we offer is 2 types of support. One is at the bottom of every page on Search and Save, there's a ticket system where you can put in support and it'll go directly to our team. When you talk to our team, either by the ticket system or you call in, you are talking to a certified agent. That's a Medicare agent. We don't just hire customer service people. They've got to be real agents.
Really? So all your people are real agents?
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Amazing.
They've all worked in the field.
Okay.
So that's what we do. We will take calls Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time. But we also have an office in Phoenix, so we can go all the way to about 8 o'clock at night to take a call.
Appreciate it.
It just falls out west.
And I know you do online stuff, right? Like trainings and stuff.
Okay, yeah. So that's a whole nother animal, right? So we do Now we're doing weekly training. Okay.
Okay.
So what we do is, like today we had a training that was just on quoting and enrollment of the system. So just how to do the nuts and bolts, drug lists, pharmacy, quoting, what to do with the results you get. Okay. So we did all that. Now, next week we'll be doing the Pearl. Then the week after that, we'll do importing, teaching people how to import their data. Then after that, we'll do the telephonic audio recording.
That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, this is amazing. Listen, you all, please reach out to Scott at Search and Save. This is going to, for those of you all whose goal is 100 or more apps, really, even if it's less than that, just the fact that you're building a book of business, I'm telling you, this is a system for you, because it takes up a lot of time having to put in those medications, especially, you know, having to keep your clients going year after year, storing that information. It just does it for you. So I know you have a special offer for my audience. Yes. Could you please tell them?
Yes. So when you go out to Search and Save and you go to log in to register and, you know, create an account, I'm going to give you the first 30 days free trial, no credit card needed.
Wow. No credit card needed.
No, you're going to get a little countdown on the system. You can put in your payment whenever you want. Let's say you fall in love with the system on day 3 and you say, okay, I'm going to put my payment in. We're not going to charge you then. We're going to charge you on the 31st day of your trial. So you get an actual 30-day free trial. All right. And then you got to enter your payment, however you want to do the $25 or whatever it is. And then we'll hit your credit card and we'll go forward from there. But the only thing we cannot give a free trial on is the Pearl. The Pearl technology is really expensive and we can't do that. But you can turn the Pearl off at any time. Let's say you try it and you don't like it. Okay, you're out $50. I'm sorry, but I have to do that. But free trial system, you know, boom, you're ready to go. You can start using that system today. And guess what? I'm going to let you do that through AEP too. I'm going to let you start free trials during AEP.
That's amazing. And listen, a free trial, right? You get that. And then you have the Pearl system while you on the system for free. You can't beat that. You can't beat that at all, at all. Well, Scott, listen, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for, you know, collaborating with me. I'm so happy we were able to like get the message out to everyone. And, you know, I just thank you. Yeah, yes. But I just thank you for what you're doing and being thoughtful. And what's the word? I guess, you know, I don't know, ingenuity, you know what I mean? To really using that to create, using that to create such a system. Like, it's really cool. It's really cool, like for real. And like I said, I can speak to it because I actually use it. So we thank you so much for sure.
Thank you.
Y'all reach out to him.